guys. Thank you for stopping by again. I got myself the worst vlogging kit in the world. It is atrocious. An 11-year-old would go, "What is this?" But it's got a mic, it's got a light, so you got what you got. Here it is. So I wanted to come on and talk about the Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson situation that's happened recently, and give my take and perspective on it. So, if you don't know, a couple of days ago, Nigel Farage was, I think it was Sky News, but he was asked about Tommy Robinson, and he gave a reply, something along the lines of, he's nothing to do with reform, he's not welcome at reform, and he's never going to be joining reform. Obviously that caused up a little bit of a stir, and he doubled down a couple of days later on Breakfast Time TV, basically reiterating the same message, quite caustic, and at one point saying that Robinson had been charged with violence towards women. And, as it came out, Robinson from inside prison responded, saying that, he's never asked to join reform. So he doesn't understand what this move is about, and that, just Farages, just leave me alone, and, I've got no beef for you, stop this. And also that Farage was lying, because he's never been convicted of, violence against women. And then his ex-wife came out and also repeated the same, saying that, he's never been violent towards women, and what Farage said was completely untrue. So, Farage is a career politician. He's been in the game for a long time. He knows that when the camera's on him, or, he's talking to the media, what he says is going to be picked apart. And especially if he chooses to talk about someone like Robinson, it's going to go everywhere. So what he said wasn't a mistake, it was very deliberate. And it seems like a very, very strange move to me, because, he's obviously going to be aware that the people that support reform, a lot of them are also going to be Tommy Robinson adjacent. So to say something like that, which is basically going to put, a real cat amongst the pigeons and cause a divide, which is exactly what we don't need at the moment, is a very, very odd thing to do. And my own thoughts, I think it's one of two things. First of all, saying that Farage has always given me like a, when there's just something about someone that you just, I don't like, there's something about you I just don't like. And Farage is one of those people. Now it could be some sort of, I don't know, projection, some sort of psychological projection, but it also could be my instincts picking up, you're a wrong 'un. Don't know at this point. But what I would say is that what he's done, to me, only means one of two things. First of all, one, that he has shown his true colours, and he is just an insider, just another career politician insider, and, his interest is not with reforming Britain and repairing the damage that's been done. His agenda is to follow what his masters say. Bearing in mind, of course, like I said, he is a career politician. He's been in the game for a long time. He's obviously going to be in those, mixing with the old boys in the private members club in Westminster, where the real business is done, where the real discussion and plans are made, behind closed doors. So, it's either that, he's a Trojan horse, or the man's ego is so out of control with the popularity of reform, and as he's had this huge rise, and if this trajectory continues, could very well be the next Prime Minister of the country. And perhaps he's thinking in a completely egotistical and selfish way, I am going to be the face of this movement and no others. So he's trying to, I don't know, destroy Tommy Robinson. It's a chess move so that he can be in his own, I don't know, vision, you know, the centerpiece, the focal point for, you know, this movement to restore our country and liberty. I'm not quite sure what else it could be apart from one of those two things, but whatever it is, it's not good. Not at a time when, you know, this movement is really taking off, and, you know, everyday people are starting to become aware of the globalist agenda and fighting back against it. You know, we need to all come together. No matter if we align on this issue, we need to all come together for this fight, not be split apart and divided. That's not how you win. And surely Farage knows that. Surely he knows that. I know that. You know, I'm not a politician. I don't have my finger on the media, you know, zeitgeist like someone like him does. You know, he's very aware, as I said, of what he says and how it will be picked apart and sensationalized even. And he certainly gave a real gold nugget there. Not good. And so, on to Tommy Robinson. A very divisive character, indeed. Now, I stand behind Tommy Robinson, and I think lots of people could be very confused how a mixed race man, how a person of colour could say that. Let me explain. Unlike most people who have an opinion on the man, I've actually listened to the man speak. And if you do that, you'll discover, first of all, he's definitely not a racist. You know, the amount of times when people have talked to me about Tommy Robinson, you know, in anger when I've brought him up in conversation, and I say to them one thing: quote me one racist thing the man has said, and I've never had an answer yet. Really interesting clip I saw a little while ago. There was a demonstration against a talk that Tommy was holding, and he went up to the people in the demonstration and said, okay, you guys are an anti-racist group, but how come the only black person here among us is standing with me? And I think that says it all. And if you also listen to him, you'll find out that he is not against Muslims. He's against the radical Islamic movement. That's what he's against. You know, like most, you know, rational, normal people, you know, it's pretty whack to, you know, have a problem with whatever religious belief someone wants to live by, you know, as long as it's moderate, as long as it's, you know, this is my belief, this is what I do, live and let live, you do what you want to do. I don't think anyone rational has got a problem with that. It's when these things are taken to extreme, and that's what he has a problem with, and I think quite rightly so, when you look at the effects of the problem in this country so far, which are only increasing. And I don't think it's unfair to say that the mainstream media has utterly demonised the man, and he's certainly been prosecuted by the state. I think first because he's the biggest voice of opposition to their agenda to destroy the Western world as it is. And also he is a working class man who has garnered the support and the backing of working class people. And that makes him very, very dangerous to the state, hence the persecution. So, that's pretty much my 2 cents on the situation. I'm disappointed that this has happened. It's a deliberate move, and it concerns me. And my only hope is that when the dust is settled, that, like I said, people in general realise that as long as we align on this issue, that things have to change, and it's up to us to make them change. Then we can, accept some of the smaller differences that we have to focus on this issue together